Thank you, Minister Dayal Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, I now ask you to rise as we welcome Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Permit me to acknowledge members of the Cabinet, starting with our Minister of Health, Member of Parliament for St. Joseph, Minister Terence Dayal Singh, Minister of Finance, Mr. Colin Imbert, Minister of Planning and Development, Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis, Minister of Social Development and Family Services, Mrs. Sharon Critchlow-Coburn, Minister of Works and Transport, Senator Rohan Sinanan, other members of the government, members of Parliament, Ambassador Song Yumin, Ambassador of the Republic of China to Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Maurice Sweet, Head of the Public Service and Permanent Secretary to the Prime Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, other Permanent Secretaries, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, Mr. Huang Rong, Deputy Secretary General of Shanghai Municipal People's Government, Mr. Bei Xiaotian, Deputy Director General of Shanghai Municipal Foreign Affairs Office, Mr. Zhui Yongshen, Vice President of Shanghai Construction Group, Mr. Michael Zhang, Managing Director of Shanghai Caribbean Group, Professor Brian Copeland, Principal of the University of the West Indies, senior officials of the Ministry of Health and other ministries, directors and executive management of UDICOT, members of the media, visitors from China, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have also entertained discussions on a number of other areas, not the least of which is our economic diversification effort, where we have said we acknowledge as part of the national conversation and more that we are too heavily dependent on one aspect of the marketplace, hydrocarbons, not even oil but just gas, because oil is so much, our production is so low now that we can't even say that we are dependent on oil, even though it's still very important. We're so heavily dependent on gas. And we always tell ourselves that we need to diversify the economy. But the question is, diversify into what? What is sufficiently significant that we can get into that can have a positive impact on our economic range of output for the international marketplace? And one of those things that we decided to do is to get into the business of ship servicing because of our geographical location in the Gulf of Paria. We have decided that we would invest, or we encourage persons to consider, and those persons are largely financiers and business houses around the world who would consider Trinidad and Tobago as a place to invest, to build that physical facility so that we could offer ship servicing to the marine traffic that passes so close to us, going in and out of the Panama Canal and around South America, across the Atlantic and so on. Unfortunately, those conversations with the Chinese have resulted in an agreement, a memorandum of understanding that we are currently working on, and sometime in the very, very near future, we should be in a position to determine whether a business investment decision is going to be signed to convert the MOU into an actual business where the Chinese investment will assist Trinidad and Tobago to construct in our territory the physical facility which is not now here. But if upon conclusion and upon completion we do have such a facility. We can offer a service to the international maritime community, a service which is paid for in foreign currency and which has the potential to employ significant numbers of people in skills with which our population are not unfamiliar. I've seen it said that this doesn't please everybody, but I can tell you one thing. It pleases the people of Trinidad and Tobago no end that we are heading in this direction with respect to creating in our country a facility which is not just a contract with the Chinese to build something for us. Because one of the discussions we had with the president of China last year is that while we are happy that we've had the visiting Chinese contractors build some facilities for us as contractors, we have gone beyond that in today's world. We would want that such building be done in equity participation, so that upon conclusion that you don't just walk away with as a contractor who has earned some money by building in a project, but will remain to ensure the success of the project by holding equity. We were told then by President Xi that the idea is acceptable as long as the project is economically sound. And following that, we set about to work on the idea of the servicing of the BREA project, the ship servicing facility of the dry dock. The Chinese offered 25% equity participation. We said that that is a little low, and we would like it to be a little higher to make sure that your risk is a little higher than 25%. And the Chinese agreed to consider 33% sharing of the risk. We believe that this is a very important development, because risk as there is, as always exists in business, if your partner is prepared to share the risk, then that more than anything else demonstrates the best practice that we can engage in at this time. So we await the outcome of the assessment that is going on now on that project, and hopefully, as Minister Dayal Singh said, and as the theme song today from Cat said, you have a dream, right? We are dreaming that we could awaken to the report that we could progress in this way for economic diversification of Trinidad and Tobago, because we have every confidence that if we are in a position to provide this and other services, that Trinidad and Tobago's future would be enhanced in the area of service provision to the international community once we invest in putting the infrastructure in place, because we are blessed with the geographical location that makes such offerings acceptable and competitive. So today, I want to thank all our visitors from China. I want to thank all the staff at UDCOT and the Ministry of Health, and all who were involved in putting this together to bring us to a point of committing by way of signature